Okay. Can we see things besides me?
It looks beautiful. Go ahead, Amanda. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll try to get this brief. I have about 30 minutes, right? Okay. So a little bit about Love Your Liver. It is a class I teach just locally on how to take care of your liver. It is not diagnostic. It cannot tell you what to do for any disease. Obviously, I'm just a researching mom, and this is what has worked for me. So I'm going to tell you real quick a little bit about why I teach this class. I was born with a genetic liver disorder, and it is one that generally is called Gilbert's. It generally means that the liver needs a little extra love. It starts failing with stress or with alcohol or with diet. And so through the years, what I've noticed is that I can regulate some of that with liver love is what I call it. And that's really just taking care of my diet, making sure I have enough water, using a lot of herbals, and a lot of Young Living. Back in the day, that was all herbals and tinctures. I didn't really know about Young Living until about 10 years ago. And then once I incorporated that into my Love Your Liver protocol, everything changed. I stopped needing as much care for my liver. I stopped having a liver that's obviously under duress. Those signs are water swelling in the body, fluid retention, the eye whites turning yellow, fatigue, a lot of aches and pains. And having a diet change was essential. We're going to start with some quick liver facts. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. It's both a gland and an organ, and that's often misunderstood because it acts as a gland secreting, and it also acts as an organ in chemical reactions, and we'll go over that a bit. It is 13% of your body's blood that goes through there on a daily basis, and it is your second largest organ outside of your skin. Your skin is your first largest organ. There are literally hundreds of functions, upwards of like 500 functions for the liver, and it's regenerative. That is often misunderstood as well. People think you can just do what you want to your poor little liver because it's just going to regenerate itself endlessly, and it can't. We're going to talk a little bit about that. It's a very hefty organ. It's between 3.5 pounds. Think of a football in terms of size, kind of squished on one end and wider on the other. That's the analogy that most people give for the shape and size of that organ. And it handles about 1.5 liters of blood every single day. And your glutathione is more concentrated in the liver, 10 times more concentrated in the liver than any other organ in the body. And that's important. And we'll talk a little bit about that too. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so this is a little bit about your liver function. We won't go into all of these, especially because time connection right now. We want to talk mostly about the fact that your liver is responsible for resisting infections. It's responsible for filtration. Most people realize the liver is a giant detoxifier for the body. All things that go in and out of the body, your toxins, your pollutants, your food, your medications, those supplements that you take, every single thing that goes into the body has to be filtered by the body and then comes out as your bile, your going to the bathroom, getting sick, all of those things. That's a liver process. I can't get this thing to forward. I'm so sorry. There we go. In conjunction with your gallbladder, it produces 800 to 1,000 milliliters of bile a day, which is dark green or yellowish fluid that contains your acid, a lot of those leftover processes that the liver has filtered, and then cholesterol. We'll talk a little bit about that as well in a bit because cholesterol is often misunderstood. The fluid does help digest fats, vitamins in the small intestines, and it either prepares the body for elimination or absorption depending on what is happening there in the liver. It not only clears cholesterol from the body, but it also produces it, which that's where a lot of that misinformation comes from. Where does cholesterol come from? What does it do to the liver? Should I avoid cholesterol in my food? How can I decrease cholesterol levels? Very misunderstood, and we'll go over that shortly. Okay, so the liver as a gland, as an organ, sorry, this is blocking me, as an organ, it executes chemical actions, removes toxins, pollutions, fumes, alcohol, decaying cells, and bacteria from the body. And it's also going to be a regulator of your sugar and metabolizing carbohydrates. So what that looks like in the body is that If there's excess sugar, it's going to break it down into glycogen, and it's going to release it, store it, absorb it, regulate that action in the body, so that you either have exactly what you need, or you'll end up with excess processes that the liver is going to say, okay, I have too much, I need to start getting rid of this. It synthesizes three types of plasma proteins. It's the transporter of fats, vitamins, minerals, and hormones. The one that's most known is the albumin. So it's the most abundant, and people know it because it regulates blood pressure up and down in the body. It regulates the fluid in the body. All the fluid between tissues, the blood between tissues. It is the largest and most abundant for that reason. The globulins, people know immunoglobulin. It's the transportation of proteins and fat-soluble vitamins, but it's largely responsible for your immune system. And then you have fibrinogen, which is all your blood clotting activities within the liver. So this was an interesting thing to learn about when I was researching the liver, and that's the Kupffer cells. It's part of the immune system for the liver, and it is part of the white blood cells that go in and build up the immune system, take care of all those pathogens and bacteria and things that come into the body, and it helps fight off infections. They are absolutely essential in the liver. So liver in your blood. This is something that is absolutely necessary. You heard earlier, 1.5 liters of blood go through the body every single day. We want to make sure that we are eating the healthiest diet we can, so those red blood cells actually have a good cell life, 120 days just about. And then it'll start disintegrating, breaking down into 4 parts, which you can see there. And then that will end up as waste in the liver, because the liver actually does process dead and decaying cells as well. Now, it is one of the largest functions of the liver to metabolize fat. It's what we know. Now, once the glycogen stores are full, then the additional glucose is turned into your fatty acids. The blood transfers cholesterol and fatty acids and stores them in those fat tissues. So 10% of the liver is actually fat. But if you have an excess amount of fat in your liver, that's where you end up with that syndrome that we say is fatty liver syndrome. It can regenerate. 70% of the liver can be removed, and it can regenerate itself within about a month. Some studies show as little as 15 days. However, the diseases of liver that create scar tissue will make this an irreversible process for the liver. So you just can't keep putting in new liver pieces or new regeneration. That scar tissue, that cirrhosis of the liver, it actually compromises the regeneration of your liver. So you can see a healthy liver in one of the slides, and then a liver that is full of fatty deposits and cirrhosis in the bottom. The liver should be more red, brown in color. It starts getting that fatty, yellow, pulpy look to it when it starts getting all of these various conditions you see on the slide. For your reference, NAFL and NASH it's the non-alcoholic fatty liver as it progresses to getting the full-on diseases of the liver that are irreversible. So the ways that you can support that lifestyle, so it's definitely going to be food. Food is your biggest arsenal, I guess, in your health and wellness journey for your liver. Nothing else is going to take the place of food. You can put in all the supplements, you can put in all the essential oils, but if the diet is horrible, then none of that's going to matter. So food choices, a compromised liver can take weeks, it can take months to heal itself. The side effects we talked a little bit about already is the fluid retention, the bloating. A lot of liver diseases start with just simple fatigue based on diet and then progress from there and have those alcoholic fatty liver syndrome type symptoms that we associate with alcoholism. But what it comes from is this: foods to limit or avoid. Now, lots of red meat that can leave issues in the liver. Alcohol, salt, cheese, dairy. A lot of these dairy and meat products are made with a ton of salt. They cure sandwich meat in salt. A lot of cheeses have tons of salt in them. A lot of soups even have salt in them. And that salt has to go somewhere in the body. And it generally is just a little bit overbearing for the liver, and it starts becoming cumulative. So it's not saying don't have that burger. It's not saying don't have that fun drink or that fun meal. It's saying moderation. I mean, you are what you eat. We've heard that a million times, right? So if you are continually putting in all of these fun foods, then you're going to find a liver that's under duress and actually has that non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome. Now, we in our house have adopted a red light, green light policy in terms of food because life is short and we do want to experience the cake or the burger and the fries or the fun food. And so being a homeschool mom, I told my kids, I'm like, okay, well, I need most of your choices. 8 out of 10 need to be those green light items. They need to be the fruits, the vegetables, all the fun stuff, what nature has intended you to eat. And then we'll get the 1 or 2 items that are not necessarily green light items, but orange come with a few cautionary flags, right? That light's going to turn red shortly, right? And then the red is just something that's a splurge. It's a birthday. It's something fun that we know if we eat 95% of our food healthy and nature-based, then our body can accommodate for the 5% that we consume that isn't nature-based. So looking at eating the garden, it's literally everything in terms of your liver. If it's green, it's good. All green things come from the garden, can process through the liver, cleansing the liver, removing a lot of those harmful toxins. They act like a tonic to the liver, just to have a lot of restorative properties to the liver depending on what they are. And you can see them represented there pretty well. All your microgreens, your green lettuces and things that are root vegetables, garlic, which actually is a vegetable, not a spice. And then your avocado, it has a ton of healthful properties. Now here we're looking at the myth about eggs. I love eggs. My whole family loves eggs. And you've heard this huge egg war over the last 20 so years. It's like the butter war. Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Like what's it doing to the body? And should we avoid them entirely? Or should we say that they're the best thing ever? It's somewhere in between. Now, eggs are amazing. For protein, they have 6 whopping grams of protein, which protein is needed for liver regeneration. So that's huge. They're rich in all your amino acids. They're a great source of choline and vital nutrients. You have all of those great properties of an egg, and then people say, well, it's cholesterol. I have to avoid cholesterol. My doctor says my cholesterol is high. Well, the latest research over the last decade, more and more research keeps coming out saying, now remember, your liver actually does produce cholesterol. There are different types of cholesterol, and the science is showing if you're eliminating all cholesterol, your liver is saying, hey, guess what? I need some cholesterol, and it's just producing cholesterol to balance that out anyway. So there is such a thing as too much cholesterol in the body, but eggs are a great baseline food that are liver regenerative, have all the essential vitamins and nutrients that you need. And it actually should be part of your healthy, inclusive liver diet. There's no more destruction there than any other of the things that we've talked about so far. Eating the garden, we're going to talk about herbs. These are essential nutrients and vital nutrients, especially when you consider it's not a muscle-sourced protein. It is a very highly digestible protein. So now we're going to talk about essential oils. There are several. Don't just stick with the ones that I'm talking about here or that I love. Do your research because there's so many. If we have garden herbs, we have garden oils at Young Living. That's that whole vitality line. And so there are a few that have been blended together, pre-blended. They're amazing. I love them. I don't have to think twice about them or create my own blends. And the first one is Juva Cleanse. It's ledum, celery seed, and helichrysum. Now, all of those are very supportive of all the blood processes in the body. They're very great for your liver, for most of your organs, and they are something that I use to supplement my cleansing in terms of what I eat and what I take as supplementation. And I do take the vitality oils as supplements on a daily basis. The blend of JuvaFlex, that just takes it one step further, in my opinion. There's a lot, there's different oils there in a very different panel: grapefruit, hyssop, ledum, spearmint, helichrysum, and celery seed. So you have that redundancy of the helichrysum and the celery seed. But when you look at grapefruit and hyssop and ledum and spearmint, they are so great at supplementing and restoring and helping the body to maintain all those healthy liver processes. Gallbladder liver flush, that GLF. So grapefruit, hyssop, did I just say this one twice? Spearmint, helichrysum, and celery seed are in that one. That's going to be your gallbladder liver flush. And the oils in there as well are some of the necessary oils that I use on a daily basis just for healthy maintenance of my liver. It's not something where I say, oh, people have said it's GLF, it's gallbladder liver flush, I'm going to just jump on that and do all these crazy detoxes and fun stuff. No, for me, it's more of a daily maintenance. And then all of these oils are ones that I use as well for daily maintenance. Pretty much any citrus is part of my daily, and you'll see why a few slides from now. We'll focus in on lemon. It is perhaps one of the easiest oils that you can incorporate into your daily diet because there are so many things that can be made with lemon. So all about supplementation. Supplementation is one of those items that either people love it or they hate it. They say, I don't want to add all the powders and the capsules and tablets, and I don't want to think twice about having to take it in the morning or night or throughout the day. For me, it's a staple. It's especially Young Livings. They've paired them with all the essential oils, which make them more bioavailable to the body, and they have become part of my daily diet. Most of them are whole food sources, and we're going to focus in on some of those as well. So some of the supplements, just some, you've got your NINGXIA greens, your NINGXIA red, pretty much anything with the name NINGXIA on it. My ICP daily, I couldn't live without. You have Juvatones, anything with Juva on it means liver. You've got all of these great supplements, including one that isn't listed that I use every single day, which is longevity, because it's got the frankincense and the orange and the clove and all of these really thyme oil, really great oils that the liver loves. Now, spotlight on NINGXIA. Most people know about NINGXIA when I talk about NINGXIA because they've had it. If you haven't had it, you are missing out. Go jump on it right away. It is an antioxidant blend that is blueberry, aronia, cherry, pomegranate, plum, grape, and the NINGXIA wolfberry, that famed NINGXIA wolfberry. So we're going to zone in on that a little bit. Now, there are some essential oils in there, the orange, yuzu, lemon, and tangerine oils that are in there, which once again, when we're looking at citrus, is if I want a nice lemonade that I make, I grab a bag of lemons. I just get all those whole food sources for what I am using. If I don't have those whole food sources, I'll grab herbs, I'll grab essential oils. It just depends on what I'm looking for. I take a daily capsule with 10 drops of lemon in it just because I like how quick and easy that is. But I do like the taste of all my citruses, my grapefruit juices, my lemon juices. And so looking at this, you're getting that juice, that taste, that whole food berry puree. And you can see the nutrient facts there. They're off the charts for NINGXIA. One of the neatest things about this berry is that it contains an approximate protein count of 13%. And if you remember a few slides back, we talked about how the protein is absolutely necessary for the regeneration of the liver. It is also your highest whole food source of potassium. So when you're looking at nutrients and minerals and vitamins, I try to find all those whole food sources that have every one of those things. Young Living supplements generally have every one of those things. And then I pair them with my essential oils. Now, if we look at all about herbs. Why herbs if I've got my oils? Well, honestly, it's because we don't have all the oils that I need. I would love an oil of artichoke. I would love an oil of turmeric. I would love all these great oils, and I don't have them. So I have to kind of mix and match and say, okay, I can get artichoke, which most people think is a vegetable. It's actually a thistle. So a good herb that you've got there. You can see on my screen, I've got some goji berries there. Dandelion, that's a huge one. I wish we had a dandelion oil. But when we look at herbs, we can see that there are so many herbs that complement healthy eating. Hold on. I just went ahead a little bit. They complement healthy eating. They are actually paired with some of your food as seasonings or spices. I definitely want to highlight on the screen right now that if you look at that top mushroom on the very left-hand side, it is called a turkey tail mushroom, and it is one of the most regenerative, restorative, most amazing mushrooms on the planet. It's been used for centuries because it's so great as a tonic for the liver, and it is in our NINGXIA greens. One of those things that I have changed recently has been the addition of NINGXIA greens because it's a new product for Young Living, and honestly, I haven't been without it, not even a single day, since its debut at Young Living. And I will tell you, it has made the hugest difference in how I feel, how my skin looks, how I function. It's one of those things that I would not be without for my general liver maintenance. It's a daily for me. That and the inner beauty, which collagen is in every single part of your body. A lot of people just think skin. It is in all the cells, all the processes, especially your intestines, and your liver and your intestines go hand in hand. Like they function so beautifully together and they rely on each other. And so when I look at my daily drink, I just grab a cup like this and I will put in my collagen and I will put in my NINGXIA greens and stir it up. And I call it very lovingly the guard mix. That is what I take every single morning just to jumpstart my day off right. So you can see there a little bit about the different minerals that are there. They do help promote secretion of bile. They have anti-inflammatory properties. These are like 5 herbs that I have chosen that are really, there are hundreds that are just like that. Eat the garden, eat the herbals, and you'll be good to go. Now, a little cleanse. There are literally dozens of great cleanses on the internet right now. You could search and find 100 on page 1 of Google, and it's hard to differentiate what's truly a cleanse and what's just a really fun tasting smoothie. I try for less sugar smoothies. I do like an apple or a little pineapple or something that gives it a hint of sweetness, but we are talking green. For the liver, it's always green. Green is go, green is good. And so we're going to talk a little bit about my personal favorite, but Young Living has this one-stop shop for cleansing in our supplements. There's the Digestin Cleanse, there's the Comfort Tone listed there, there's Essential Zyme, ICP Daily. All you have to do is go through the supplements and check them out online. Even things like when we were talking about longevity. If you don't have a book at your disposal that tells you exactly what some of these oils and products do, just read the description on Young Living's website before you purchase. Longevity specifically says it is super great for the liver. It's amazing for the liver, and it breaks down why it's good for the liver. So look at some of these supplements and think, what am I doing on a daily basis that is maintaining my health and wellness for my liver, but also aiding those processes? I want to help my liver detoxify. I want to help my liver regenerate itself. I want to help my liver be healthy and happy. And therefore, I'm going to start with the garden, be predominantly garden based. I'm going to add in some good healthy proteins. And then I'm going to add in my herbals, my supplements, and my Young Living essential oils so that it's a superpower. It's absolutely a superpower to have all of those things. And you can very easily incorporate them into your diet, because what we're talking about is whole food sources. We're not talking about buying any weird tinctures or creating anything or mixing and matching unless you really like to mix and match, because with the GLF and the Juva Cleanse, Juva Flex, Juva Power, all of these different products Young Living has specifically for Juva, the liver, it's really done for you. All the hard work is done for you. So recent studies on lemon. Lemon has been shown to regulate enzyme activity in the liver, which is super important. And it's a very natural way to cleanse the liver, kind of help those processes up. It's loaded with calcium, magnesium, potassium, citric acid, and phosphorus, and it is loaded with vitamin C. It also helps regulate your pH so that, you don't want an acidic body. Acidity is the start of all disease. So when you're looking at things like Coca-Cola, some people are just pro Coke fans, and I see them running around town. It's not even about the 13 to 15 grams of sugar. It's not about all the calories. It's not about all the toxins and chemicals. It's the mere fact that Coca-Cola is very acidic. Those sugary drinks, those fun, fizzy Cokes and Mountain Dews and all those great things, they're just filled with so much acidity for the body. And if acidity is the root of disease, just even look aside from all the other things that I said were so horrible with it. I don't want that acidity in my body. I want to bring in all of the waters and whole food sources and kind of maintain that happy pH for my body. It's also loaded with antioxidants. So we'll talk a little bit more about the supplemental cleanse, which Young Living has multiple different cleanses that people use. This is breaking down the Comfort Tone ingredients, the Essential Zyme ingredients, and the ICP ingredients, which is one that a lot of people jump to as their first cleanse. Sometimes they'll bring in Digestin Cleanse and a bunch of other products, but this is the one I've heard most about over the years. And I look at Essential Zymes, especially Essential Zymes there, as one of the key ingredients for my healthy, happy liver, simply because it does help break down everything that I'm ingesting. I don't know if you've seen the little video that went around on social media a while back where one of the Young Living kids took oatmeal, and she had 2 cups of oatmeal, and she she made standard oatmeal, and then she held the oatmeal upside down in the cup and it kind of stuck and didn't come out on the plate. And then she popped some essential zymes into the other oatmeal and just waited a few minutes. And when she turned it upside down, liquid oatmeal came out of the little cup. And that was a great illustration for me to realize how essential it is to get those essential zymes in my diet. So a whole food cleanse. For me, this cleanse is my go-to cleanse. I think it's sweet enough, but it's not too sweet. It's got avocados for all those minerals and vital nutrients, spinach. I can pretty much hide it in anything. I can even make mint chocolate chip ice cream with spinach, and you never know spinach was in there. I do celery when I can. All the apples that you want. It's something that apples are going to be very nutrient rich. If you need an extra apple to kind of mask some of the taste of the green stuff, go for it. And then you see I have that scoop of NINGXIA greens in there. And I do like cinnamon. I generally add a few little products in there that I think taste good, come and go depending on the season. I'll add banana in there sometimes, but I do start with a couple frozen items so that it does have that nice chilled consistency that you like of a smoothie. So these are the books that I have religiously read and highlighted and loved, and I use on a daily or weekly basis. They have helped me figure out exactly what my liver needs and how to keep my liver healthy and happy and functioning at optimal levels so that I don't invite fatty liver, I don't invite any of those diseases, and my liver can continue to regenerate and be around for the length of my time here. And that is specifically just bringing in all of the whole food stuff, Young Living essential oils and supplements, and then reading these to educate myself on how they all work within the body so that I can do the best for my own liver. So there you have it. That's just my daily, weekly protocol right there.
Is the liver the only organ that can be regenerated?
It is the only organ that can regenerate. All the rest of them, you can use sulfurzyme to help maintain healthy, happy organs. I do as well, but you really got to take good care of all those organs. Even if the liver can regenerate, it's not something where you just say, oh, well, I had this horrible diet and all of this alcohol and all these fatty foods and all this salt stuff for like the last 20, 30 years. And now I'm going to say I'm in my 50s or 60s and I want to have a good, healthy liver for the next decade or 2 or 3 or 4. And so I'm going to start clean eating and it's going to heal itself. It's something where if that scar tissue, if all that fatty liver creates all the cirrhosis and scarring and ugliness of the liver, it cannot regenerate itself. So there's a fine line there. Now, regeneration in terms of transplants, that's how transplants are so successful with the liver, is that you can have 70% of the liver removed, and a healthy liver can regenerate itself, a completely total new functioning liver. Now, that being said, if there is fatty liver present, the research and science shows that the transplant would not be successful, that they are failing because the fatty liver that was present and all of the disease or issues within the body are too much. So even removing the liver and bringing in a new transplanted liver, the liver ends up failing.
Could I ask a question about okay, I've had this burning sensation in the front of my gut on the right-hand side on and off for probably 10 years. Every time I've gone to a doctor, they want to just automatically take out my gallstone or gallbladder. And all my mom, my grandma, my sister, they've all had theirs removed. I refuse to get that done. And I know you can't diagnose me, but how does one go to figure out, like, would it be gallbladder or liver?
So they actually function hand in hand. You're right. I mean, I couldn't begin to tell you what your needs are, but I can tell you, looking at my own issues and my own disease that I have, this disorder that I was born with, the gallbladder, the liver, and the intestines, I look at mentally as one unit, because they function so much in harmony. If there's even one thing out of miss, it's like a Jacob's ladder. It's just a chain reaction where bad things start happening. My own sister has her gallbladder out, and that was a big issue because now she's seeing all these repercussions over the years where the liver can't compensate the way that she would like it to. And she has intestinal issues because of that. And people have very successfully taken care of their gallbladder and their liver despite gallbladder or liver diagnoses, just by doing the cleanses and the protocols and making sure that they are eating the whole food diet and the things we've talked about. People have completely reversed gallbladder and liver issues just through whole food diet alone. So I would definitely start there. Elimination of everything real world is key, and then bringing in all of those wholesome leafy greens and all of the things your liver loves, that's key. And that's for anything.
I'm actually having a flare right now, and I know it's because I indulged over Thanksgiving. And but I do agree with the NINGXIA greens. That has been a huge improvement that I've seen since I've started using that. So thank you.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Out of everything I've done over the last decade, that incorporation of the NINGXIA greens, to have several dozen greens all in one little blend, and then near a dozen mushrooms, all the different mushrooms and everything that are in there. Like my liver's loving it. Absolutely loving it. I cannot say enough about that supplement. If I could pick one liver supplement at this point in time, that would be it.
Yes. Thank you.
If I want to, I've never done a fast before, and I don't know much about them. So if I were to do a fast, and I would use the shake that you mentioned, could I still eat a bit during the day to help with
So that's up to you. There's actually a lot of different fasts. Some people do a fast for 1 day a week, and they'll say, okay, this is my break for my organs. This is kind of like giving a little love to everything and giving it a rest. And they'll do 6 days of normal eating within moderation and then have that 1 day of rest. Other people do a 5-2. Me personally, I've always done intermittent fasting because my liver with this particular disease functions at a much lower pace than an ordinary liver. And so it takes a while for all these body processes for me. And when I slow things down a little bit and give it a rest, I've noticed it's much better for me. So I actually do, I don't start eating until 4:30 in the afternoon. And that's just a personal choice. And then I will eat until 8 or 9. And I generally am a late owl. I'll stay up till 11 to 12. I know my mother, who has some of the same issues I have, she'll do intermittent fasting in the morning. And her first meal of the day is at 6 a.m. And she eats from 6 until lunchtime. And then she won't do the rest of the day. But I think that's really a personal choice. Some people love intermittent fasting and some people can't stand it and they think they're depriving the body. But historically and research, they both show that giving the body a resting period where you are consuming a lot of water and kind of helping all those systems process and flush is essential. And there are many times where I'll do that smoothie as just to get it, break that fast. I'm ready to go. I want to put something great in my body first. I don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm so hungry. Give me that cheeseburger. I want to start with something great and amazing and then evaluate what I feel like eating for that day and where it lies on my health food spectrum.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Amanda, do you have any other talks on YouTube or resources for people besides the books that you gave?
I don't. I had a bunch of stuff up probably about 5, 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, but just like everybody else, I got a little yelled at because I was saying what I wanted to say, all the truthful things about all the great stuff in the world. And I was asked to take all that beautiful research down. So I'm looking at putting a lot more of it back up. Right now, it just exists in our group, but I am a research PowerPoint teacher. So the PowerPoint you see, I've probably got about 40 of them for all the different body systems and all the different stuff, because that's how I learn best, is by creating those.
Fantastic. I appreciate you so much for coming on. And was so much great information in such a short amount of time. So I'm glad that you could do that. And we still can go back and look at those screens that you perhaps didn't get to go over word by word. So all of us will be able to do this. This information is being recorded and it'll be on Splash, the Wild Splash group. Danette has put the links into the system or in the chat right here. And all of these Monday night calls for business or for health are kept, and so anyone can go research them and grab that information anytime. They're not going to go away. But Amanda, I'm so sorry for the difficulty getting on, but we thank you so much for coming and struggling through that and giving it all this fine information. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry for the interruption. I think it's the snowstorm we're having right now, honestly. Normally our internet's much better, but with all the snow, it's just been chaos.
No worries.
Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.